Hey beautiful people, what's going on? It's Stefan with another video from the past to abundance. And in today's video I want to talk about a very powerful tool called the 80-20 principle or Pareto's principle. And to give you a little bit of an introduction of what the 80-20 principle is, it was originally discovered by the Italian economist Vilfredo Pareto, who discovered that first of all in his garden 20% of the pea pods were produced, no, 80% of the pea pods were produced by only 20% of the pea plants that he had in his garden. And he was curious about finding out whether this principle is also applicable to other realms of humanity. So he studied economy, and he found out that in Italy, 20% of the 80% of the land was owned by 20% of the people. And he found out that this principle is not only applicable in economics, but it can be found everywhere in life. Actually, 80-20 is way more powerful than that because it's power law. And I'll get into this with later examples in this video. But what is crucial to understand is that in everybody's life, in my life, in your life as well, there are 20% of the causes that create 80% of the result. Let me give you an example here to illustrate that. For example, you are a business owner and you have a sales team. And in this sales team, there will be, like, let's say you have 10 people, hire 10 salespeople. And this law states that 20% of these people, like 2 people of your 10 team squad team in sales, will produce 80% of your revenue and of your results. And the same can be found. This is maybe a little bit of an abstract example for you, but the same can be found in your when you apply it to your life. I learned about the 80-20 principle first, by the way, from Tim Ferriss, from his all-time classic, The 4-Hour Workweek. He is talking a lot about this principle and how you can apply it to become more effective, because 80-20 is all about effectiveness, not about efficiency, but about effectiveness, doing the right things, not doing the things right. That's efficiency. Efficiency is doing things fast, doing things right, but effectiveness is much more important. Right? What is the purpose of climbing up the wrong mountain when you notice at the end of your life that you've been going in the wrong direction all along, that you have never really defined what life should mean on your terms, on your own terms. And um, that is unfortunately how the vast majority of humanity operates today, at least from my point of view. They are busy being busy without making sense of what they're doing right there, without reflecting on things. And okay, I get you. You might be stuck in a job where people impose their structures upon you, and they say you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do that. Um, and you don't have quite a lot of choices of what the highest priority should be according to your terms. But yeah, when you start realizing that, you can make different choices and then you can get different results. So to get back to 80-20, um, for me, a very powerful journaling question. I also got this, not by, I didn't make this question up by myself. I got this from, as I said again, as I say again, from Tim Ferriss, The 4-Hour Workweek. I will link you the book in the description down below so you can have a look. It was one of the books that really shifted my mindset according to, um, yeah, um, you know, according to work life in general, and according to um, wanting to start out on my own to build something for myself and not be dependent on something that someone else tells me that I should be doing. I hate that. I figured that out later on my journey that I hate being controlled by someone else's agenda. I hate that because then I can't be free. I can't operate according to 80/20, or it's very difficult at least. And for me, the most important journaling question is when it comes to my private life, um, what are 80%, what are 20% of the activities of the people I hang around with, of um, my sports routine, whatever, you can fill in the blank. 20% of your activities that bring you 80% of your joy, fulfillment, ecstasy, laughter, quality of life, whatever you want to name it, the positive vibes in your life. And you can also turn this question around and ask yourself, what are 20% of the people, circumstances, um, and so on and so forth that bring me 80%, a disproportionate amount of suffering, pain, anger, frustration, and then you can strip things away that are not serving you anymore. This thought exercise is very, very powerful. And if you're a business owner or if you're working on yourself, you can also pose this question about what are 20% of the activities that bring me 80% of my revenue, you know? But the power law, the 80/20 principle doesn't stop there. It's far more powerful than that actually, because it's a power law. It means, like, let me give you an example. 80/20 also holds true when it comes to the traffic in major cities, in big capital cities. For example, in London, 20% of the traffic, no, the other way around, 80% of the traffic drives on 20% of the roads. But it doesn't stop there. It goes much deeper than that, because you can take the 80/20 principle squared. You can say 80%, 20, 20% of the traffic, 80% of the traffic, 80% of the 80% of the traffic, right? Zooming one more time in, drives on 20% of the 20% of the roads. And it doesn't stop there. It goes one level deeper. So in a quintessence, it means that 80% of your outcome, 80% of the 80% of the 80% of the 80% of your outcomes are produced by the 20% by the of the 20% of the 20% of the 20% of your inputs. And once you understand this principle, life becomes a very interesting journey, because you're looking for new discoveries on your ways all along. You're trying to search for these 20% that bring 80% of the results. It's a very astonishing and very interesting concept that blows my mind and pokes my curiosity about life itself, because I'm trying to find how I can be more effective, right? I'm trying to find out what are the systems I need to put in place to get to these 80% by 20% of the work. So I don't suggest, don't get me wrong here, I don't suggest only work 4 hours a day and you'll be fine. Especially when you're starting out, then you probably need to work your 8 to 10 hours. But I'm never suggesting to do it with force, to force yourself. It's I for me it's the most unwise thing to work 12 to 14 hour days. I would never do that. I couldn't cope with that. I never could. And it's, from my point of view, knowing the 80/20 principle, it's not only not advisable, but it's also not sustainable. You will burn out after a while. So 80/20 is key. Um, and I have two book recommendations for you if you want to look into the 80/20 principle in more detail. The first one is the original book by Richard Koch. I think that's his name exactly, from the 1980s. So it's it's a business book classic, so to say. And I will link you this book in the description box down below as well, so you can check it out. And the second book that I found very interesting, because I'm working in sales right now and I want to make better decisions, want to become more effective in sales, is this book right here. It's the 80/20 Principle in Sales and Marketing by Perry Marshall is the name of the author. So this is pretty cool as well. So what's especially interesting in this book here is he says, for example, that when you have a sales funnel, right? When you have an email list and you offer particular, yeah, info products online that you sell, you can make an estimation um, from numbers that you already know. For example, you say you are selling a product for 100 euros, and like, I don't know, 20 people of your 100 um, people email list, they bought this offer for 100 euros. And you can go to a website. Wait, I have to look that up now because I'm not really sure what the name of the website is. But exactly, it's called the 8020curve.com. www.8020, written in numbers, numerical, curve.com. um, and you can check out, according to this example, okay, if you have a product that brings you like 20 people buy this product for 100 euros, how many people in your email list would buy a product worth 800 euros or 1000 euros? And 80/20, this website will give you very accurate estimations and projections of what's coming out of it. So you can make sure you get, in this case, you can somehow deduce whether it makes sense for you to offer this product, whether enough people will buy it that it's profitable for you or not. So a very powerful thing, very powerful tool. And this book in general just opens your mind when it comes to sales. Right now, for example, I took some ideas from this book and I'm trying to figure out, okay, maybe this is just very general, but yeah, it's 80/20 nonetheless. I'm trying to figure out right now what is the most effective sales process for me and my partner, um, when it comes to sales, right? When we are cold calling people, we are making pitches, and we're trying to get them on a second phone call, but in between, they most of the time they want to have an email. And what is the most effective way here? This is what we try to figure out right now. Is it sending a PDF document? Is it making a pitch video online via Loom, for example? Loom is an excellent software for that. Or whatever is the case, we would try to find out what are the 20% of the causes that have 80% of the impact and drive 80% of the sales. That's what we are trying right now. Yes. With that being said, this is the 80/20 principle in a nutshell. I'll link you the links for the books and also for the website down below, so you can check out more. And I encourage you to just take out a journal. This is a call to action for this video. Just take out a journal and write about the things you are unhappy with in your life. The 20% of the causes that result 80% of your unhappiness, and the flip side of that, 20% of the ideas, people, principles, habits, routines, whatever you want to put in there, blank, cause 80% of your happiness and your laughter and your joy. Life is way too short to always be, dreading in life and being like, "Ugh." It's not only not necessary, it's totally the opposite. Our natural state of being is ecstasy, joy, abundance, bliss. We just have to remind ourselves of that and then strip away what's no longer serving us. um there's Last but not least, there's one quote coming to my mind that is a perfect match for what I just uh, suggested, that you should that you should take some time to journal on your life, um, and make it a routine. And that's from the French mathematician Pascal, Blaise Pascal. I don't know if I pronounced it correctly. I never had French in school, but yeah, Blaise Pascal. He said all of humanity's problems can be solved by a man sitting in his room alone, and that is 100% true. This is exactly what 80/20 is. You know, to make effective decisions, effective choices, and to be effective in life, to apply the 80/20 principle, you need to think up what you're gonna do first without being, you know, actionistic. I think actionism is just another symptom of people not having thought out what they really want in life and how they want to go about it. So yeah, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, then please make sure to give me a thumbs up down below. Subscribe to my channel, and you will be informed about any new stuff that's coming up here. And you'll be the first one to know. Hit the bell for notifications, by the way. And let me know in the comments whether you have applied the 80/20 principle in your life so far. What are the results of it? Like, have you journaled on specific things? Are you becoming more effective by applying this principle? Or what are your general, yeah, your general results by 80/20? I would be very curious to know, and I will promise you I'll get personally back to you, and we have a conversation going on here. That's the purpose of this YouTube channel. I want to know what you guys are up to. All right. So, with any further ado, I wish you a beautiful day. I hope it's exactly as sunny and beautiful in your hometown right now as it is here. It's a wonderful weather. I'm just having a blast right here. It's beautiful. I've been waiting for the sun for so long. Yeah, without any can't cut the video, you know. But yeah, I see you next time. Take care.